Hi, welcome to episode 19 of the Zeens and Roger Crochet Vlogcast. Hello, I'm Rosina, as usual. It's always been my name. How are you? You alright? Thank you very much for joining me. Welcome. Come and sit with me and have a chat about crochet, yeah? Well, I will, as normal, go straight in, no faffing, and say crochet news item number 1 is this month's issue of Crochet Now magazine, issue 22, and I have a pattern in there and it's here on the front, woo! And it is a blanket that caused me loads of trouble, if you'll remember. Well, I better not show you too much detail. It was the one from a few weeks ago, maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago, I can't remember, and I was fretting because I'd gone wrong and then I had to start again. In fact, in a minute I might go and get the thing that my surplus thing that I can show you, so I can show you how much I ripped back and stuff. So that's my crochet news item number 1. I'm really pleased to have had a blanket in there. I'm really pleased to have finished the blanket to send it by the deadline. That was a frantic few days, and lesson learned. Don't leave it to the last minute thinking you've got plenty of time, because something might go wrong. On the same day as the issue came out, I also got a couple of samples returned, which was brilliant. Really interesting to see. Once it's been in a magazine, have it back in your arms. It's very strange indeed. This is the t-shirt yarn bag that was in one of the other issues not too long ago. It's quite a big size bag. You can fit knitting projects or crochet projects in there, not a problem. I don't know whether to keep it. I'm really fond of it actually, but it's quite heavy. It's got a good weight. But it's interesting to see something when you send it off, and I've said before, haven't I, you're apprehensive, and then when you get it back it kind of puts a smile on your face, knowing that it's had a little adventure. And the other one they sent me was this one. So I got this one back, which was I can't remember what I called it now. Was it quartz? I think it was called Quartz Rainbow or something like that, because it was inspired by all those sparkly, crystally crystals and stones and things like amethyst, and because that was a brief I was given, and so it's supposed to reflect all the fractals of light and stuff. And it's quite a big blanket. I think that again, another one that it's quite wide. Fit on a bed. Another one that I frantically made because left it to the last minute. Maybe I never will learn my lesson. So, but I don't know what to do with this one, because initially I'd said don't worry about sending it back. You can donate it, because there's an option. They don't just automatically send things back. They ask you, would you like this sample returned to you, or would you like it donated to a charity? And I said donate it, but some wires have been crossed along the way, and it's now back in my possession. So I'm thinking not necessarily just like bunging it in a charity shop, because that's painful. Although I do send loads of stuff to charity, but when it's and I have done crochet blankets in the past, and just sort of, without really knowing what to do with them and building up a collection, I have sort of sent them to a charity shop before. But this one, I was thinking about doing something, whether or not to auction it off or raffle it off or something. I'm still thinking about it. So nothing's going to happen yet. But if you've got any ideas about how I might be able to raise money for a charity, I also need to pick a charity as well. Maybe, I'm not sure. I have to have a think about it, that's all. I know I don't really want to keep it because I don't need it. I like it, I'm proud of it, but I have enough blankets. I really do. it won't stop me making more, ever, but, you know. So that's Crochet Now magazine stuff, which is a great magazine to work for. I really like working for them. I really like working for them all. With them. When I can, if you know. Anyway, shut up. News item number 2. Holy smokes! Sorry, too enthusiastic. Oh. Holy Smokes has been published. I did it last Friday, and thank you so much to all those that have said nice things, and thank you very much to those that have bought it. I honestly, I'm so happy that you like it, and thank you very much for buying it. Thank you so much to the people that tested it, because honestly, I had no idea. Like, I've written patterns in the past and they sort of only need sort of like maybe a couple of tweaks here, like you've missed out where you want to say chain 1. I can see from the grid, the pattern, the chart, that you want to chain 1. And then you just write chain 1 into the pattern and then you're done. Whereas this one, cripes. I'll show you my scrawlings. I don't know if you can see. Oh, actually, I'll just wipe. I probably shouldn't show you the written pattern, should I? That's a bit silly. But I don't know if you saw that flash of it on screen. But there are a lot of pen in pink and blue with many corrections and scribbles. Not that it was wrong per se, just perhaps not written as clearly as you write. You know, you write something and you think it's stonkingly good, and it turns out that it's not. I don't think like only little things. An asterisk might be in the wrong place or something, and I might have written space instead of stitch. Things like that, you know, things that just you do on autopilot without really thinking. And there was another one as well that I kicked myself for, which is I wrote sort of row 53, do this, blah, and then the next line it says row 53, do this. Well, obviously I meant 54, but these things happen. So thank you so much to those that picked those silly mistakes out and sort of shouted at me and said, I don't think you mean that. It's like, yeah, right, I don't. Anyway, Holy Smokes at the minute is on Ravelry and loveknitting.com, so I've got a really itchy nose. And on Ravelry it has a 20% off discount until the 8th of December. So if you fancy having a go, then now's the time, because there's a little bit of money off for another week or two. And I'm relieved. I'm glad I've done it. It was a lot of work. I was worried about it before I did it, and I put it off because I knew it would be hard work, and it was bloody hard work, but I did it, and I really hope that you like it, because I do. And yeah, but I'm going to put it in a cupboard now and not look at it for a while, if that's okay. It's one of those. Even though I love it, I just need a break. Next news item, I have a free pattern, a new free pattern now on the blog as well, for Baubles. I thought I'd jump on the Bauble bandwagon, and I thought that I would go for something ridiculous, as simple as I could, but simple but pretty. And so I sort of had a tinker and came up with these. The free pattern is on the blog, and there's also a tutorial here on YouTube. I've got a whiff of coffee. Where's that come? I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't like coffee, but I can smell it. Why am I gonna? They don't smell like coffee. Where's that come from? Anyway, So if you fancy having a go, all you do is get baubles and crochet on them, and you've probably seen it already. So there's that. There's not a lot to say about it, is there? The video's up, so if you want to find out more, go and watch it, or go to the blog post if you don't want to watch anything, you just fancy having a read. I think they're quite cute, and I have worked up other people's patterns before and stuff like that, and they're all very nice, but it's interesting to see how many patterns work differently. If I was to work up somebody else's written pattern, it wouldn't have fitted these baubles, and I wanted them to fit, obviously, so I've come up with my own version. What's next? I don't know. Yes, I do. Christmas. Because I've just been talking about baubles. Last episode, episode 18, I offered up some Christmas presents to deny, and I'll do that now rather than save it to the end. And I have the Ravelry thread was one option for one gift, and then the comment section on YouTube was another thingamajig. And I've gone through both of those. I did a random number generator this morning, and the Ravelry one was dead easy. It was, the number came up, counted down, number 16 it was, and that's Amelia, or Emile Carve 1963. So you have won the Ravelry Christmas gift. So if you can give me a shout, and I will get that posted as soon as possible. And then on YouTube, I spent ages trying to do several random number generators, because each time I checked on the person, they weren't subscribed, but 3 or 4, and I just went, oh, do you know what, whoever, I can't be bothered to go through and find out who's subscribed and who's not. So I started again without caring about whether or not you were subscribed. And so but obviously I did want you to, because it helps me, but don't worry, it's Christmas. It's Christmas. Anna 4520 Sweden. Give us a shout. zeensandroger@gmail.com, and I will post out the Christmas gifts to you, which are basically just is just a way of stash busting for me. And I will do I'll show you just a quick flash, because I want it to be a surprise. But that's one present, woo, and that's another present, woo. Okay, so that's what you're getting. But I'm not going to go through it and show, because it will spoil the surprise. Moving on. Check. Shall we go through on... Oh, no, I tell you what I'll do first. Because you were all so kind in telling me what you wanted for Christmas, shall I tell you what I want for Christmas? Right, the idea was to be sort of pretty selfish and just go for it and be, you know, wish big. And so, and a load of you did it, and it was brilliant, and some people were so selfless, and it's just like, am I the only one that's not that nice? I don't know. But I was just like, no, I would like a room full of new yarn, please. I would like a craft room to put it all in. That would be a nice present. Or, well, I've written a list. Number 1, I'd like a flat stomach, please. Number 2, I'd like to be able to travel all over the place, on a whim, whenever I wanted to go wherever I want. That's a good present, isn't it? I would like to go for meals out without worrying about babysitters, and without worrying about how much it costs to buy that extra bottle of wine, or do we really need a pudding? I want really good dinners out. I want a holiday, which is travel, you know, but whenever I want. And I would love an extension, please. I want the boys to have a bedroom of their own, and so that also, but basically they share at the minute. I want a third bedroom so that we can shove them in one room when we need to, so we can have guests and stuff. At the minute, people have to sleep on the floor when they come and stay. An extension, please, for Christmas. And last but not least, I just want loads of clothes, new clothes, go shopping, and generally splurge. I don't think I've... Oh, have I missed anything? Cake? No. I like cake when I like cake. I like chocolate eclair, one of my top faves. Profiteroles. Wouldn't it be amazing if you could just eat those whenever you wanted to, and it, you know, no consequences? Those are the sorts of things that I wish for Christmas. But obviously I'm never going to get. Apart from, I know that I can get myself a flat stomach if I do the work. I know that I can go for a meal out every now and again. I mean, we're not talking silliness. We're, you know, every now and again. And actually, it's more of a treat, isn't it? If you imagine if you were going out for posh dinners like every week, or even more than that, or even, I have to say, I mean, we literally maybe 2 or 3 times a year we'll go out for a nice dinner. If you did it all the time, it wouldn't be so special, would it? So you got to be think about it like that. And each one, you know, every time we do go out, it's memorable, and it sort of sticks with you rather than it just becoming fly away and casual. So maybe actually it's a good thing that we don't have these things, yeah? What does that red... Oh God, something flashed up there. I know what the red dot means. The red dot means it's recording. God. So, yeah. And I am going on holiday. We have booked with some friends a weekend in Venice next year. Seriously, cannot wait. It's only 2 nights, and we've spent all the money on like the accommodation and the flights, and when we get there it'll be literally like eating not very much and not doing anything apart from wandering around in awe, I expect. I've never been to Italy, so I'm really looking forward to it. And that's the difference, isn't it? Not just going, yeah, I'm going to go to Barbados next week, and then we're off to New York, and then we're going to Australia for 3 weeks. No, it's not special, is it? As usual, I've got a few whips as I go, but nothing sort of... One is a secret, and that's coming along quite nicely, and I'm enjoying that one actually, just so you can see me. I've got the jumper that I talked about last time, and I have not touched it. I've needed that time away from it. I was trying to get it finished so that I could show you today, but it's not, well, I haven't. The ends need sewing in before I block it probably, so I'll tackle it in little stages. I'll sew in the ends next, put it to one side for a few days, block it, put it aside for a few more days, and then finish off the rest. And then it'll be done. And then maybe I won't, maybe if I keep it for another fortnight I'll be able to show you next time. And I'm doing this one as a nice bit of therapy, I suppose, because I was really unhappy with my long story shawl, which I showed you last time, and I'll show you again in a sec. But this one was just because I just needed something that wasn't horrible. Didn't have to think, didn't have to plan, didn't have to worry. I could just pick out a colour and sort of... It doesn't have to be anything special, do you know what I mean? Mindless crochet. We all like a bit of mindless crochet. So this is I did a load the other night, and then I haven't picked it up for a few days, I will be honest, because I've been working on the commission. But I did start a sort of a granny square as a stash buster, as usual, and just as something to enjoy. Then there is I think, my long story shawl. Is that right? Jumper, commission, this, and yeah. So I'll be honest, I've not done an awful lot of crochet in the last fortnight. Not really. I'm not going to say that I've lost my crojo. Not least because I don't like that word. But I've wanted to read instead. I'm on a massive reading kick, and actually sometimes, you know, it's just nice to sit there and get lost in a completely different world and not have to do anything, which is another form of therapy. And actually, yeah, when you crochet you get lost in that world, don't you? Sometimes I can be crocheting for ages and then people are talking to me and I've not heard a word they've said. But this is a different kind of loss. This is completely sort of in another world, isn't it? But I've got a stack of books on my bedside table waiting to be read, including a couple of special ones that I really would like to make the effort to read, and I'll tell you about it another time. I don't want to say anything until I've read them. But there are two books waiting to be read that I'm sort of the next in line. So I'll show you my long story. Oh no, I've got another one as well. Let's talk about long story for a bit first. I've done a bit more since last time, and actually, well, what do you think? It was the yellow that bothered me the most, and the fact that I was worried that these sort of intermittent different stitches just weren't working. I think I was chucking too much stuff at it. Maybe I should keep it a bit more simple. I've got too many stitches, too much colour going on. I like it. I like the idea, but the colours just aren't working. But the problem is that actually, as you move on, I've kind of done a gradient in all my spare yarn that I've got, and so if I were to use a neutral here, I don't know if it would go well with the greys and the duskier blues. So I chose the yellow, thinking that it would work. And the more I looked at it, the more I was just going, no. So I could rip it back, preserving all these little sections of yarn, and then change the yellow for another shade, which is an option. I'm not going to bin it all together because I like it, but I don't like it. If I hold it up like this and keep staring at it, I wonder what it says to me. The problem is it's not actually going to show what it really looks like until I've finished. Interesting. As you can see, I haven't made up my mind, and the reason I'm sort of faltering is because I haven't actually looked at it since the last time I put a picture on Instagram, which was like literally I had loads I asked for advice and loads of people said just put it out of sight for a bit because you know, don't do anything in haste. And so what's the date today? It says I did it on the 13th of November. I think it's like the 20 something. It's the 23rd, so 10 days ago. I haven't looked at it for 10 days. My gut feeling is to do a blending in fade, so stop using that yellow and fade into a new neutral colour. But I don't know whether to keep these long stitches in there or not. That at the minute is my. Now I've decided to, possibly that I'm going to fade it into a new different colour. I still don't know whether I should keep those. It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? It'd be interesting to see. Anyway. Obviously still not 100% committed, as you can tell by my dithering. But yeah. It's gridlock out there. Don't know what's going on. This is the other whip that I almost forgot about, actually. No, it isn't another jumper. I'm not that daft. I haven't lost it. But with the leftover yarn, I don't know what happened, but the other week there must have been a trigger, and I can't remember what the trigger is. But all of a sudden, I think maybe it was when I was sorting through those prizes and stuff like that, and I was finding all this spare yarn, and I hadn't realised how much yarn I had left over from those the colour block jumpers, and it turned out to be quite a lot. And I was looking at it, and I was wondering what to do. Should I get rid of it, or is it, you know, blah blah. And I don't know if that was when I realised what I should make with it or not, but I'm making a scarf, a very simple scarf. I'm mixing the colours from the 2 jumpers that I made for me, and I'm not using all of them because I don't actually think I had any mustard left in the end. But I had enough. I had 2 balls of the grey. I've got some of the pink left, and I had a lot. I had 5, I think, 5 balls of the blue. I'd obviously completely worked out, totally wrong, the amount I needed to make those jumpers. So anyway, I had loads left over, and I'm making a scarf, and I don't think it's naughty or anything, is it, to be inspired by that jumper? Because what I've done, my scarf is, I've got lots of blue, and I'm about halfway through, and so I'm mostly using the blue, seeing as I had a lot of it. But then I've used a ball of the pink, and then each end of the scarf is going to have the front post, back post stitches, just like it does for the sleeves and the bottom of the jumper. I've done as a thicker wodge, but that will be on the end of each end of the scarf, and then yeah, I'll have a scarf. Obviously I won't be able to wear it at the same time as the jumper because you can't double up on crochet. It's like double denim. You're not allowed to wear 2 lots of different crochet. So I'll have to sort of come up with different situations in which to wear it, or failing that, seeing as I have a million squillion scarves, cowls and shawls, possibly put it in the Christmas pile to give to somebody for Christmas. I'm not sure. I do feel slightly guilty sometimes about just making so much and then kind of working out who I can give it to as a present, rather than making something especially for someone. I don't know if that's allowed, or if people will be less appreciative if they realise that actually you didn't really know when you were making it who the recipient would be. What do you think the etiquette is regarding that? Do you reckon there is some? Do you reckon this is bad form? But what else am I supposed to do? I mean, I still made it, and in some cases I've designed it too. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know how that works, but I figure that the person I choose to give it to is usually somebody that would be very happy to receive a handmade gift. Some people are a bit funny, aren't they? Oh, you made it. Didn't you spend money on me? You didn't buy me something. Oh, sorry, I thought going to the effort of using my hands to create you something unique was more special. But this is, I mean, it's so lovely to do. Another mindless crochet project. Brilliant. And granny stitches again, because granny's the best. Love a granny. So yeah. Sorry. when I get to the end, I always sort of go, is it 1 or is it 2? And then you have to look at it and go, oh, it's alright. Gosh, I don't know whether to, I mean, I don't know if I can call this my own pattern, because it's sort of copied from a jumper, but that's a free pattern online. And all you need to do is sort of decide how wide you want it. I can't remember what the multiples are. I just sort of, yeah, can't remember. I've written it down somewhere, 50 odd, chained 50 odd, then did a load of rows of front post, back post, and then it is just row upon row of granny until I decide that it's long enough or until I run out. I'll try and make both sides even. I've got enough grey and enough pink to do that. I know I've bought a lot of yarn recently. I know, okay? I know. But I've bought one more skein, okay? Just one more. It's not my, it was an accident. Do you remember last time I'd been to Stitch Fest in Totnes, and I bumped into a yarn dyer of the name of Miss Moffat, and being the nosy sort, I then went and looked at her Etsy shop where she's got some yarn, hand-dyed yarn for sale, and there was this one and I had to buy it. It's really nice. It's just it's exactly the sort of thing I'm looking for at the minute, which is neutral with some flecks of colour. And actually, this is one of the reasons why I think I might be tempted to just rip back that long story shawl and go to the effort of starting again, because I think this might work better than the yellow. This one is called Autumn Seaside. Miss Moffat, or I think she's either called Kirsten or Kirsten. It's not Kristen, is it? I should have found out before I actually started opening my mouth, and I haven't. I'm really sorry. But Miss Moffat lives by the seaside. I know that because it's not that far from here. Another local yarn. I mean, obviously it's not, you can't argue that it's completely coincidental, because I actually knew that she was local and I went and looked at her shop. But it's like I do now have a mini collection of yarns that all sort of are within an hour and a half radius of me. All the other ones were just like by chance when I stumbled across their shop or whatever, or found them however I found them. It just so happened that they were local-ish. But yeah, and then I was thinking, so do this one instead of that yellow, because if you sit them side by side, you can see that this one is, I mean, the base is like a primrose yellow, whereas this one is a natural base, and you know, natural colour. And it is, I mean, you could argue that there was nothing in it, but there is. Absolutely there is. But I thought about not just using this, but using one of the colours that was going to be in my next Holy Smokes. Might have to reevaluate that. And I was thinking about getting a swirl, a gradient jobby, for trying that out on the Holy Smokes and seeing how that worked instead. And then, you know, I've got the freedom to play with what these ones and see what happens. I don't know. And but I was lucky enough to also get a little gift in my parcel, which is wonderful. So thank you so much, because I got this one as well to go with it. Isn't that? It's just the same colours, but it's kind of, well, you can see it's more intense, and aren't I lucky to get a little present? I was so chuffed, honestly. So thank you so much. But I'll put a link. I'll do, as usual, links in the notes on my blog and stuff like that. So if you want to check her out, you can. But yeah, just down the road from me. It's awesome. And then with the other stuff that I bought from Stitch Fest, maybe it won't be a Holy Smokes, maybe it'll be something else, I don't know. But yeah, I was thinking about it the other day, because of the cakes and the swirls and all of that jobby, all of that stuff. I might do that instead, but I'm not going to go out and buy one yet. I might just, maybe I'll just add it to the list somewhere near the bottom. Won't be a priority, so I don't know when I'll do that. Yeah. I think that's it. Which is more than I thought I had, because when I was thinking this morning, I did a walk this morning around town, not very far. I had thought that there was nothing to talk about today, and I was going to be sort of, it was just going to be a quick one. I've managed to talk quite a lot, haven't I? Really, I think that's okay. I managed to sort out lovecrochet.com. Did I say already? I can't remember. Yeah, I just didn't see a button that was staring me in the face when I went on there the second time. It was just there, plain as day. Nincompoop. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how. I've only put 2 patterns on there so far, and then I'll maybe I should sort of put some more up there, because 2 patterns always look a bit lonely. And if I put the whole catalogue, which isn't huge, but if I put more up there, it might look a bit more jazzy, mightn't it? But so there we are. That is the end of episode 19. Thank you very, very much. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and I will see you again next time. Cheerio. Goodbye.